Howdy, everyone. My name is Marcelino Robledo, and today we're going to be going over colony collapse disorder. Specifically, the topic of what is the cause of colony collapse disorder. First off, I like to go over factors that affect honeybee health as they will be brought up later. And mainly, I wanted to go over nutrition, specifically the lack of nutrition when bees are put in monoculture areas where they're not provided a diverse option of dietary protein. Secondly, I like to go over parasites such as the varroa mite. Thirdly, I like to go over disease such as American foul brood and beekeeping practices such as the transportation of beehives. Um, Other than that, we've fairly gone over everything else very well, so I won't bring it up now. What is colony collapse disorder? And from now on, I'm going to be referring to colony collapse disorder as CCD, just putting it out there. So, CCD is a phenomenon that causes abrupt disappearance of honeybee workers from a colony. And CCD is associated with five major symptoms, and these symptoms are sudden colony death, the presence of a live queen bee that's been abandoned in the colony, a lack of healthy adult bees, the presence of capped brood that have been abandoned, and food stores. And I want to bring this up that colony collapse disorder is characterized by these five symptoms. And I'm saying this because a lot of times with fairly new and inexperienced beekeepers, uh, the death of a colony is associated with colony collapse disorder because these newly uh, found beekeepers aren't sure what's causing the death of so many of their bees, and a lot of times it's attributed with uh, the death of bees over winter where they lack nutrition, or something happens within their habitat that causes them to die off. And so I just want to reiterate that colony collapse disorder, while there is colony death and a lack of presence of bees within the colony, it has to be characterized by these five symptoms to be considered colony collapse disorder. So why is CCD happening? Um, as of now, there's no definitive answer um, associated with CCD. However, researchers among the Environmental Protection Agency believe it could be linked to one of or a variety of these following answers. And they think it can be linked to invasive varroa mites, new or emerging diseases, pesticides, stress, habitat, poor nutrition. And so earlier, these are the reasons why I was specifically bringing up certain topics of factors that influence bee health. Uh, Invasive varroa mites, disease, pesticides, stress, habitat, and poor nutrition. And so specifically, I want to go over stress right here because I didn't talk about it earlier. But stress is normally associated with the transportation of honeybees. As you can see on this slide, that there's a truck transporting all these cases of honeybees in very tight compartments that are all smushed together and um, strapped down. And so while they are doing their best to make sure that the bees are safe and out of harm's way and that they're following procedures, this is very stressful for a very tiny bee that's not used to having its home moved at 50, 60, 70 miles an hour on these very loud roads. And this can cause a lot of stress to the hives. So how are we combating CCD? And it's very hard to identify a good way to specifically combat CCD because we have not identified anything that specifically shows us it is causing CCD. And so, because of this, we kind of have a variety of generalistic um, ways to um, increase the overall health of honeybees. And these consist of supplementally feeding bees during nectar and pollen scarcities, using less pesticides, specifically using less pesticides during certain times of the day, such as mid afternoon and early evening when honeybees mate and are out searching for um, resources. Another one would be to increase the number of pollinator friendly flowers to help bees acquire good sources of protein. And so here I've left a couple of references from the EPA and the United States Agricultural Services. I hope you enjoy.